South Africa has put on hold plans to roll out its COVID-19 vaccine programme. A study shows only limited effectiveness of the vaccine developed by Oxford University and the pharmaceutical firm AstraZeneca against a variant identified in South Africa. Politicians applauded when the jabs first arrived in Johannesburg at the end of January, after procurement delays in Africa's worst-hit country.
South Africa has to ensure that we do not vaccinate, using the 1 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine that we have, without knowing whether it's efficacious against severe disease and hospitalization. So it's prudent that we do it in a stepped approach.
Initial tests show that the vaccine is only 22% effective in young people who have light forms of the variant. There is currently no information on its effectiveness against serious cases. The government has announced it will instead use vaccines from US-based multinationals Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. Authorities are also in talks with American producer Moderna and with Russia.
Our scientists are continuing to evaluate other candidates, and we are simultaneously engaging manufacturers. We are in advanced stages in evaluating and engaging the manufacturers of the Sputnik V candidate.
South Africa has almost 1.5 million recorded cases of COVID-19, with the number of deaths approaching 50,000. Authorities came under fire for dragging their feet in the global vaccine race. The AstraZeneca jabs delivered by India's Serum Institute were marked for 1.2 million healthcare workers. The fiasco drew criticism on the streets.
We thought that the government was on the ball, but it seems like they had, dropped the ball once again with regards to those vaccines.
The 1.5 million jabs expire in April. They'll be swapped with other countries or stored until further tests establish their effectiveness. And no new date is in sight for the vaccine rollout. Senegal has sent troops to the southern region of Casamance, where separatist rebels have waged one of Africa's oldest conflicts. Thousands have died since the Casamance movement of democratic forces began its fight for independence in 1982. The poor region had returned to an uneasy calm in recent years, but on January 26th, Senegal launched an offensive with the support of neighbouring Guinea-Bissau, claiming the capture of several bases and forcing the rebels to retreat. For war-weary locals, this was a welcome development.
We have waited a very long time for this to happen. A large-scale operation that gives hope to displaced populations. And we believe that when the operation is concluded, the populations will be able to easily return to their homelands.
Home to 1.9 million people, Casamance was once part of Portugal's colonies in West Africa. It's almost completely separated from the rest of French-speaking Senegal by the Gambia. This remoteness fed into perceptions of discrimination by the government and fanned the flames of the independence movement.
You don't dare go 100 meters beyond the village. The armed men attack you, or ask why you come here. You don't dare tend to your fields, and when the women go to the rice fields, they're chased away. You can't do anything. You can't do any activities here.
Senegalese authorities say the latest operation aims to stop rebel actions and to help displaced people return home. Another goal is to curb the illegal cannabis and timber trade, which Casamance separatists are thought to control. The Red Cross says 80% of Ethiopia's Tigray region is still cut off from humanitarian aid, 3 months after the military were deployed to crush the opposition government. Tens of thousands of people could starve to death because Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the 2019 Nobel Peace Laureate, has blocked access to aid groups.
If we don't act, today, if the number of IDPs, the number of affected communities is 1 million today, tomorrow when you go back and do assessment, obviously you will get 1,100,000. That's why the numbers are changing. We have to really appreciate and recognize this fact.
The Ethiopian Red Cross now estimates that almost 2/3 of Tigray's roughly 6 million people need help. The European Union announced in December it was postponing nearly €90 million in budget support payments to Ethiopia, partly over the humanitarian access restrictions. And finally, Morocco beat Mali 2-0 to become the first back-to-back winners of the African Nations Championship, known as CHAN, on Sunday. The victors scored twice after corners in the final in the Cameroonian capital Yaoundé.
We are satisfied. They played well, even if the first half was a bit difficult. They scored 2 beautiful goals. Long live Morocco.
Vive le Maroc, vive le Cameroun.
It was the second CHAN final loss for Mali after losing to the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2016. And they're still seeking a first Confederation of African Football senior national team success.
It certainly hurts, but I don't blame the players because they gave it their all. God wanted it to be Morocco, so that's it.
Originally scheduled for last April, the tournament, reserved for African teams playing on the continent, was pushed to this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic.